So how much cash down payment does it actually take to buy a home in today's world? I'm here to bust a myth because conventional wisdom tells us, well, you should have 20% down, and I think you need 20% down, don't you? No, not at all. I've seen too many people think they need 20% down and never end up getting to buy a home, their first home, or move up into their dream home because they're waiting for the magical 20% down. Good news, you don't need anywhere near 20% down to get into a home, and it's not cost prohibitive to do so. I'm Chris Mullenberg, founder of the Mullenberg real estate team at eXp Realty. Over the years, we've helped hundreds of clients build big time wealth through real estate ownership and home ownership, and they never started with 20% down. But lo and behold, after a few years of owning their home, they've built up tens of thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity that they didn't have before. So if they had waited until they had 20% down, they would miss out on all of this wealth building. So right off the top, there are conventional loan types these days that allow you to buy for as low as 3% down. So we've got a lot of buyers buying for 3% down, 5% down. I mean, you can put 7, 8, or 10% down as well. Yes, if you put less than 20% down, you will pay what's called private mortgage insurance, which is PMI. But that number is really not a huge impact on your monthly budget. Just to give you an example, we ran an example yesterday with a buyer who I think was putting 10% down. So, nowhere close to the 20%, and their PMI was going to be about $150 a month. So that's just added into your monthly payment. So really for an extra $150 a month, they got into their dream home without having to save up 20% down. So outside of conventional loan options and products, there are, of course, VA. If you are a veteran in the military, you can actually get a home loan for 0 down. Really nice for veterans. And FHA is a good option. FHA loans start at 3.5% down. Lots of first-time home buyers take advantage of this. You can even get better interest rates in the FHA world. And here in Colorado, we have a Colorado first-time home buyer program through the Housing Authority, which lots of first-time buyers take advantage of. This actually gives you a grant towards your down payment. You can get in for 0 money out of pocket down. And this is how a lot of home buyers get started. This is not the cheapest place to buy a home. Lots of states in the U.S., are starting to get more expensive, but the first-time homebuyer programs are actually letting people get in without having to save tens of thousands of dollars. Another popular trend these days is gift funds. So either from family, friends, or like a GoFundMe type site where people can contribute. I know we've seen people do this after their wedding, for example. Instead of doing a registry for their wedding, they just said, hey, contribute to our GoFundMe site for basically crowdsourcing your down payment. So some lenders are allowing that. Pretty cool. And especially if you're buying a home that might need some updating or some fix up to make it yours, this is a really good way to save some of that cash. Like if you had the opportunity to put 15% down or 20% down, but you decided to put 10% down and saved the rest of your cash for fix up, this is really smart because then you're going to deploy some of that cash toward fix up, updating, which will actually build sweat equity for you. And that's a better use of that money than putting it down and trying to avoid a few bucks of PMI every month. And the good news is too that most loan products, PMI, private mortgage insurance, doesn't hang around for the life of the loan. Once you've reached 20% in equity, both with paying down your mortgage and with appreciation of your home value, then you can wipe out PMI and get rid of it altogether. So if you're curious about what monthly payments would look like at different down payment scenarios, go ahead and click the link below in the description there, and you can run side-by-side scenarios as to what it would take, for 3% down, 5%, 10%, and you can run all these numbers, and let's chat about it. You'll actually be surprised that your dream home is not out of reach, or your first home's not out of reach, even if you haven't saved tens of thousands of dollars.